Good afternoon. My name's Greg. I'm here to talk about the behaviour modification intervention for a person named Rhonda who came to me with a substance abuse concern. Specifically, it was her consumption of white wine that was bothering her the most. Rhonda enjoyed wine and enjoyed it occasionally a little too much. She'd been putting on weight and wasn't sleeping well, and her family had started to pass comments to that effect, and so she came to me seeking methods for intervention, and that's what we went ahead and did. We initially conducted a functional assessment on Rhonda. We discussed any antecedent behaviour or antecedents which may well have been causing this behaviour to occur in the first place. Amongst those things were pretty mundane, everyday, sort of unpreventable type conditions, such as friendly discussions with the husband, friendly discussions on the phone with friends after having a nice day and achieving things, potentially outside or even inside, and cooking was another really big one for Rhonda as well. She just loved to have a glass of white wine with dinner. So after the functional assessment was conducted, Rhonda and I, within a couple of days, went out and extinguished all of the wine in the house, knowing Rhonda full well knew at that stage that the intervention had begun. From that point forward, Rhonda was going to have to go and willfully purchase whatever she wanted to consume for the evening. We allowed Rhonda a baseline week in which we didn't really talk too much about her performance, other than, she knew that she was in the middle of it. Rhonda's results came back around about what I think that she would at the time have been comfortable with, but reduction was still required from that point. After baseline, for the following 4 weeks, Rhonda showed remarkable improvement, and in the end she reduced, although she didn't defeat her substance abuse concern, she certainly lowered it to the point of almost extinction, and it was only, like every person that abuses a substance, probably she had an excuse at the very end which she wasn't all that comfortable with. Prior to discussing results though, I should probably discuss the techniques we used throughout the intervention. So positive reinforcement was huge. Rhonda didn't really need any encouraging to play her role in this, and she knew that her success or failure in this little intervention was going to be based a lot on how she chose to tackle it. So her husband was on board with this, so he supported her throughout. Every week that she would reduce her intake of white wine, he would provide her vouchers to spend at coffee shops with friends, things of that nature. Rhonda and I every Sunday would conduct a session on her progress, where we would discuss how comfortable she was with where she was at, how those antecedent environments were affecting her drinking, but it would be differential. We would only talk about the good things. We never talked about the poor performance. We would talk about times that she struggled, but we would never talk about her performance, so there was never any punisher mixed in with that. I would think that the intervention's been a success. It's been a couple of weeks now since the end of that, and there's no sign of white wine in the house. I'm obliged to report on the failure to ultimately succeed throughout the 5 weeks, but I feel Rhonda went a little better than that. All in all, I think this has been a successful intervention, and I'm confident now that she's going to be able to carry this one forward. The end.